engineer. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Scarface father killer's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Star Wars SH Figuarts Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. It's really starting to mess with me. New Last Jedi teaser. No, we're too close. We're too close. I'm not watching it. We're so far away. But, in order to help tide us over, let's take a look at the accessories. So he comes with a wide array of hands, of course. He comes with two holding hands, left and right, for his lightsaber. He comes with two gesturing hands. They could also be relaxed hands. They could also be force power hands. It's whatever your imagination can come up with. And then we have two hands to hold his helmet, like at his side, so you can put it in the left or right. And then we have two, I'm gonna get you hands, or using ultimate force power hands, or something along those lines. You get three lightsabers, two hilts, one that plugs into his belt, one that does not. This one would be for holding, obviously, which is thoughtful. You know, I think stuff like this is thoughtful so that you don't have to worry about this peg. It's either you use it or you use this one. It's just, that shows a little extra care and pride to me. And then we have his ignited one. It does look a little cleaner to me down here, the hilt, but I'm anxious to see it in the film. The blade definitely looks the same as that kind of raw sawzall kind of blade. I feel like it's just raw power. But I have to vent. You know, I always have to vent when we do this. I think the way to do this is a strong white plastic rod up through the center with a translucent red blade going around it so that it looks like there's a lighter color in the middle of the blade. I think that's what throws it off to me. And you get his helmet. The helmet is attached to a separate neck piece, so you can swap out the whole thing, or you can take the neck piece off here and have him holding his helmet, which I think is a really nice gesture. The helmet is just cast in this sort of grayish blackish color, and then the silver paint is added and looks good. And the little like visor inside is sculpted as well. So really, really nice helmet. So we'll talk about the paint and detailings and stuff first, and then we'll go through the articulation because there's not a lot to talk about in that department. I think the face sculpt is pretty good. I think certain angles are better than others, but I do think for a 1/12 scale figure, I think it's pretty close to the mark, wouldn't you say, kid? The paint on the face looks great as well. I do feel like, maybe the eyes aren't dark enough. But I'm nitpicking. And then the scar looks good. The paint on the lips looks great. The hair, I think, is painted. I could be wrong about that. The rest of the figure is not painted. It's just plastic sculpt. So the good news is there's some differentiation. It's a great color that they chose for the gray or black suit. Like, it's a different type of black. It looks sharp. And then the boots they're kind of... It's frustrating. They're a little bit glossier, I feel like, on the feet than they are on the calves, but it doesn't look bad. It's just when it's under harsh lights and you get to like really kind of trying to dissect it. And then you have this piece, which is a floating piece. All of this suit, you know, it's all sculpted, and the arm little bands are sculpted and such. But that's really it. You have the buckles that are painted on the back, but there's not a lot of paint on this guy, which is fine. It doesn't necessarily need it. But, I think that sometimes you expect a little bit more. You're not going to get it here. But that doesn't mean it's bad. So let's talk about it. Unfortunately, it does feel like it's going to be bad because the first thing we're going to talk about is an issue. So it's a double ball peg from the head to the neck, and then I think another one from the neck into the body, but we're going to find out here shortly. You know why? Because when you go to move the head down, it pops right off. Right off. So... And no, it's just a single. That might be part of the problem, because it doesn't allow any real movement there. Now the head you can operate a little bit, but it's not going to get you a whole lot. So it's a little disappointing. You get the swivel and stuff, and you get a little bit down. Obviously, you get a little bit of life and attitude out of it, but it's not what you expect with this company. And in case you were curious, the helmeted head is even worse because of the lip that sits on the outside of the lip, like the neck stuff that sits on the outside of the chest. It just acts as a lever to pop the joint right out. So no help there. You get a great butterfly joint. You do have to deal with the breaking up the sculpt on it, but I ultimately think it's worth it in order to get some dynamic poses. And you can obviously get his hands to kind of interlock around the blade if you want both hands holding the blade. So that's a nice touch. I think it works. I think it works well. We have a disc hinge here from the shoulder to a ball peg inside the body. Same on this side. This joint's a little tight. A bicep swivel around the disc hinge, so that's fine. Double jointed elbow that gets you, almost the full range, a little shy of the full range. And then you have the wrist on a ball hinge, pegs inside there and into the hand, so you can get in, out, or up, down. So that's works fine. It's perfect engineering, and it's nothing new, but it's what we should kind of expect because it works well. Feels like just a, it's a double ball peg from the torso into the pelvis. Doesn't get you a great range though. You get the swivel out of it, but you don't get much more out of it. You don't get much crunch out of it. Not the best. It's not the best. And then we have T-jointed ball joints, and these are probably drop downs. Yes, they are. T-jointed ball joints for hips, they get you out to there, so that's perfect. They drop down, will get you all the way up to there. The soft plastic doesn't get in the way at all, so that's really well done. Thigh swivel. The wrinkles in the pants are beautifully sculpted. I don't think I mentioned that when we started off, but they are. Single hinge knee, gets you a great range and doesn't look terrible. And then we have the ankles, which swivel. They get a good tilt up. They get a good tilt down. You have a toe hinge, and the double ball peg gets you a decent rocker because of the cut of the bottom of the boot. So all of that works really well. The things that don't work well or as well is the neck to the chest and the abdomen to the pelvis. That's where you run into most of your issues here, engineering-wise. So there he is next to the Hasbro offering, and there's just no comparison to me. This is where SH Figuarts really shines through. It's where you have, face characters. Troopers and stuff, you can get away with a lesser option. You can get away with the Hasbro option, because it's fine, kind of. But when you come to the characters, this is where you get your return on your investment. Final thoughts-wise, let's talk about the issues. The neck to the chest, articulation, engineering-wise, with the head constantly popping out is an issue. The double ball peg from the pelvis into the abdomen isn't the best either. And that's pretty much it. There's one other nitpick I have, and that's that the pegs on this one, on the hands, they're really hard to interchange. It's a really, bulbous peg, for lack of a better term. I'll show it to you. And it's hard to dig her in at times, but I think that overall, those are my real complaints. That's even the Kylo helmeted one, you can't even swivel it too far. Watch. Pops right out. That's just a bummer. Positives wise, I think the sculpt work is great. I think that the paint, where it is applied, is minimal, but where it is applied, it's applied beautifully. I think the accessories are awesome. I love the gimmick of being able to hold the helmet, and include hands left and right in order to do so. Love it. The articulation works pretty much across the board, with the exception of those two places we already talked about. There's nice change up between glossy and, semi-gloss and matte and flat plastics here to help give it a more dynamic look. So I do definitely recommend it. I'm just personally a little bit disappointed, especially with the neck articulation. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.